What's going on, everybody? I'm back again with another video, and I'm in probably one of the chillest neighborhoods in New York City, which is Astoria, Queens. And it's actually one of my favorite neighborhoods. It's been months since I've been out here, because I was abroad, but I'm over here to do like an update video to see what's going on. So without further ado, join me. There goes the subway train, the noise. Keep in mind, this is a huge neighborhood, but I'm gonna cover only a couple of blocks and a couple of bases. So I'm gonna start by Broadway, then make it towards 30th Avenue, and make it towards Steinway, but by the Middle Eastern side to see what's going on, and probably wrap up the video by Astoria Park. So let's do it. So this over here is called Broadway, and they have like a lot of business going on around here. Also, they got like 24-hour supermarket, you know, so it's really cool to come out at 2 o'clock in the morning and do your groceries. And it's convenient located right by the subway station right here. So you know, you can take the subway right there, the W, the N train, and then you walk around here and you get neighborhoods like this. I'm gonna do a couple of blocks throughout Broadway, then merge into the left, walk in one of the regular streets to show you how residential it turns. Then I walk around 30th Avenue, which is also like another main street. They got a couple of main streets here covered up with a lot of business and restaurants. Also, they have like a lot of restaurants, bars, also like a nightlife. A lot of young people, they hang out around here, you know. And it's only like 15, 20 minutes away from Midtown Manhattan, so you get a lot. And I gotta tell you, today is actually a really gorgeous, beautiful day. So today the weather is just perfection. Warm, no humid, but in a few days it's gonna get really hot, so I'm taking advantage to make this video out here because the weather is actually pretty nice. And then if you merge into some of the regular streets, you can see they're renovating it. Like over there across the street, there's construction workers paving the roads, and here you see the difference. It's a good thing that they're paving the streets. This is an Ecuadorian restaurant right here. That's another cool thing about this neighborhood. We got restaurants from all over the world. This neighborhood has some pretty interesting combinations of diversity. It's known for a huge Greek community and some of the best gyros or pita breads I've had right in this neighborhood. Then you go to another corner and it literally turns into Middle Eastern. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of Bay Ridge, you know, like it has like those diversity of people, and then you go to different neighborhoods and it pretty much turns actually residential. As you can see, the neighborhood keeps going. And then on top of the business, they got residential units. If I was to live in Queens, this would be like one of the neighborhoods I could consider myself actually living. And then look at the sky, how beautiful it is. Wow. It's literally like heaven. Like I said before, this is a big neighborhood, so it could take you a while to get from one side to another one. I'm just showing you like a little portion. If you have a bike, it's actually even better, because the neighborhood is actually pretty bikeable, and I heard they developed like a new nice bike lane. Not sure where it is, but I'll probably figure out where it is and probably bring my bike one day and bike around here. Some of the nicest sunsets that I've captured in New York City was actually here in Astoria by Astoria Park. Doing a detour over here, over this residential street to show you what's going on. There are actually residential streets that are nicer than this one, but just so you can have an idea of how the street changes in Astoria. It's like a lot of streets, they look different from other ones. Look at the street, it has a building with a street art. And then there's a bike lane. Like I say, you can bike here pretty comfortable. Then the street doesn't have a lot of trees, but a lot of streets that you walk in Astoria, they're covered with trees. But then I really like the architecture, like the brick buildings and the triangle in the corner. You know, it gives like a really nice vibe, you know. And it's pretty diverse here, like people from all over, they live around here, but it's Queens though. Queens is the most diverse borough in the whole world. Then as you see, it keeps going over here. Got beautiful brick buildings. Like I say, I could literally see myself living here. If I was to choose Queens, I think Astoria would be the neighborhood that I could live. So I'm gonna make it towards 31st Avenue, make a left and walk back again towards 31st Street. That's where the subway line passes by. Just so I can make it towards the other side, towards 30th Avenue, walk all the way to Steinway and show you like the Middle Eastern side. Steinway is pretty long. It goes all the way towards Northern Boulevard, and it's full with shops, business, restaurants, but between 30th Avenue and 28th Avenue, it's really cool because that's where the Middle Eastern area is. Actually, I think I discovered a new bike lane. It's actually in 31st Avenue. It's really cool. So you can see the people that are literally biking. You know, it literally does like a shortcut on the other side. I'll show you a little bit of it. You can see a little bit of the bike lane, and if you go on the other side, it shortcuts through the other way. So I think this one connects you from 31st Street all the way towards Steinway. So I think I'm gonna come back here with my bike and do a bike video in Astoria and shortcut for this avenue over here to show you how convenient it is when you bike. So they did like a really cool concept with the street, you know. So I think it literally shares it with the cars, but you know, it's nicely well designed. Like over here you see the division of the bike lane. Well, I guess it's both ways. Then here you have another idea what it is. So the cars, they got to drive a little bit more slowly. And then they got this area over here, not sure if it's going to be pedestrian or whatever, even though they got the sidewalk. But it's really cool to look at. So I knew I was going to discover where the bike lane is. Always had a thing for bike lanes because, you know, I own a bike, and I think a lot of cities, they should manage to separate the pedestrian, the car, and the bike lanes and make a city like much more cooler, much more accessible to get around. So I think, you know, New York City is a city that sets a huge example in the United States. I love the street over here because it's covered with the trees. That's so cool to look at it, See how it's divided. So I guess you could come this side and then go. So they literally designed a bike lane for both ways. You go over here and then it's shared with the cars, but the cars, I guess, will drive politely. So pretty cool concept and a good way to shortcut for the subway area all the way to Steinway. So that's really good. And I'll tell you, well, without stepping, I'll tell you the weather today is just absolutely perfect. So kind of regretting not bringing my bike out here today because, like I say, Astoria is just pretty massive, and the best way to cover it is if you bring your bike. Then here, 2 more blocks down, we are back again at 31st Street, which is a street that passes the subway line. W train and the N train. If you were to take the W train, it'll take you all the way towards the Staten Island Ferry. Then the N train goes all the way to Coney Island. And then here, it seems like they're trying to extend it more like for the pedestrians, I guess. So, you know, it's a really cool concept, and I love how the trees are literally giving shades to the roads, and then you got like the apartments. So I can see why this is probably one of the most desirable neighborhoods to live in. Because, you know, it's really close to Manhattan, but it's not crowded, it's not crazy. Also, it seems like the bike lane keeps going the other side, probably towards the waterfront. Not sure. I'm not gonna walk all the way towards that area. But behind me in the other corner, they got a really cool food truck, King Slovaki. But they sell like some pretty good platters, gyros, you know. There goes the train. This is 31st Street. That's a subway train, but not too many business around here, just mostly apartments. So this is very different from Jackson Heights or even Bushwick. But, you know, pretty chill vibes, and they got a mix of old buildings with new apartment complex. So I'm gonna make it a 30th Avenue and then start walking all the way to Steinway Street. 30th Avenue is gonna be full of business. And then when you hit Steinway, it's like another vibe. So the thing about Astoria, it's like many neighborhoods in one, but it's actually a section out here in Queens, New York. And that's the beauty about New York. Like even neighborhoods or sections, they're big and they have like their own city within the city. So it seems like here in Astoria, they're doing a huge effort to improve the roads. Like so far, almost every block that I've been walking around here, you see that they take up the old asphalt, and I guess they're gonna replenish with the new ones. But you saw that 31st Avenue had the new bike lane, so I guess they're trying to do, you know, a huge work to improve the roads out here, which I think that should be done in every borough in New York City and even in North New Jersey. Then ahead of me is the next subway stop, and then 30th Avenue, which is a cool avenue, and it gets over busy. But keep in mind, this neighborhood goes all the way towards Ditmas. Ditmas also has like a main street. Then it goes all the way by the waterfront. Once you go to the waterfront, the houses are like nicer. I think it's actually more expensive. Over here, I can smell like the new paved road. I'll show you. This is what I'm talking about. You see the old, and then the brand new asphalt, and they just got to label the road. So, you know, good thing that they're doing their job to improve the road conditions out here in Astoria. Here we got one stop. This is 30th Avenue. Entering and tells you the hours to go up. And then the main street is right here. There's also more on the other side, but you get better financially if you make a right here. Then I want to show you like this side what it looks like. I'm in 30th Avenue, so I'm gonna walk all the way towards Steinway to see what are the vibes. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've been here, since I was traveling abroad, but it feels good to be back, and especially in the summertime. Like I said, New York City, in the summertime, it just literally hits different. Probably the best city around here in the States to spend your summertime. Because the vibes, you know, the ambience are just dope. Here they got a couple of establishments. They got this supermarket here that sells fruits and vegetables. They also have a juice shop that opens 24 hours. I tried it one time and it was actually pretty good. I love the smell of the fruits out here. And this juice joint over here, that's really good. Melon, you should try it, it's really good. And then this supermarket here opens 24 hours. Wow, look at the colors. It's pretty beautiful, those fruits, right? This is what actually makes, you know, New York great. Neighborhoods like this and the diversity. And look how cool the neighborhood is. Like I said, many neighborhoods throughout New York City that you can't really cover at all. I'm only here for a limited amount of time, but yeah, even across the street is beautiful to look at. And I tell you, Astoria is a neighborhood that I could come every day and never get bored of it. Like, there's always something going on, and I don't know, I feel like it keeps getting better every time I come here. You know, with all the options, you can see all the stores that's going on. So you got, you can get main streets like this, and then if you want residential streets, you get it. Which is mostly of Astoria. They got residential streets, then you go on the other side, it could be houses, and then it turns into condos. I tell you, I'm just loving this beautiful, gorgeous day. Like, look at the cloud, look at the sky, how blue it is. You know, that makes me really happy. It makes it easier for me to walk around the neighborhood and film. Making a detour here in 36th Street because the street looks pretty nice. It's like it got a couple of houses, but then like it got a front yard with trees and everything. So I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like over here. So far from a distance, I'm loving what I see right here. So look at this, and this is, you know, the beauty about Astoria, that every street is different. You don't know what to expect. See, they got gardens like this. They're nice looking. This is kind of like a mixture of apartments and houses. Across the street, they got more. And if I stand a little bit over here, you can see they got a bike lane. So you can just bike comfortable everywhere. Wow, look at the gate here. It looks pretty nice. But then the trees that be dropping like something in the ground. Imagine when the fall season comes. So you see how nice it is, you know, all the trees. And then the regular apartments are on the other side, but this is what you get. Love the street so far. Wow, what a cool street. And some of the houses, they have like signs and everything, like really cool, you know, I guess liberal signs. Wow. We just love it over here. And it's crazy, I just noticed it when I was walking by 30th Avenue and I did a detour over here, but that's what Astoria is about, you know, all the diversity of architecture, streets, the vibes. And this is literally all over New York. You just gotta go deep in the streets, you know, get out of Midtown Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, and explore neighborhoods like this so you can see what the real New York is about. I'm just gonna keep walking back towards 30th Avenue and make it to our mission and hit Steinway to see what are the vibes over there is gonna change from over here. It's gonna be really cool, like if we're transported to another country or somewhere else. I'm not gonna lie, I wish every day was like this. Nice, sunny, blue skies, not hot, not humid, you know, like woo. So much you could get done when the weather's actually pretty nice. Here we got more business going on. Same structure of building, but each one are labeled with different restaurants. Right now it's pretty quiet, but I think if you come in the evening during the sunset when people get off of work on the weekend, you'll see more action happening around here. And across the street they got more business too, so. Also they got like a lot of local bakeries out here in Astoria and good coffee shops. Living in the nighttime, it's nice out here. I made a video here, I think a year ago during the nighttime, and it's a different vibe. Cool neighborhood, the lights, they literally come out over here. So one block ahead of me is Steinway Street, probably my favorite street out in Astoria. So we're gonna make a left and start walking it between 30th Avenue and 28th Avenue. That's mostly dedicated to the Middle Eastern section of Astoria. So this is only like half of Steinway Street. Like I said, Steinway Street goes all the way, like if you make it right over here, it goes all the way towards Northern Boulevard. It's covered with trees. Like I said, Astoria is just super massive, so I'm just showing you probably like my favorite parts of Astoria, you know, probably like the basic of this neighborhood right here. So here it begins, beautiful Astoria. And here we start with some Middle Eastern coffee shops, Mocha and Co. It's actually Yemeni coffee. Yemeni coffee is really good, but it's actually pretty strong. And this is just the beginning. Like they got way more joints ahead. They also got like hookah spots or shisha, which is pretty famous in the Middle East. And over here you can see all the business that's going on. Also got one of my favorite Palestinian coffee shop brands, which is Mocafe. They got it all over, even in Patterson, New Jersey, and they expanded throughout New York City. Even here they got a Mexican joint. Pretty interesting, in the middle of the Middle Eastern Mexican Riviera Maya. This must be like a club or something. Even in the nighttime, it's pretty lit out here. And I like how the main street has a lot of trees, so, you know, it pretty much maintains it, you know, with the weather. Makes it pretty comfortable. They even got like massage joint right here. Back rub, foot rub. But let's keep going. I think within the other block is where it really gonna turn Middle Eastern. And I see a lot of local business with signs are written literally like an Arabic sign. So that's really cool. And I saw a shop there that had like the dress, you know, that the Muslim community wear. See some chicken joints, shawarma spots. Here's where the party gets started. This is 29th Avenue right here. And they did it last year. I'm not sure they're doing it this year. They did it this year. They did like a street festival around here. I forgot what was the name of it, but it was like the first of its kind that they do around here. I tell you, man, just the sky is gorgeous out here. And we got this restaurant called Al Asham, and they got the Astoria flag, or Syria, Astoria. And probably some nice shawarma over here. It must be good. But over there it keeps going. You're gonna see a lot of more business happening ahead of me. Chocolate house. I guess it's still the Dubai chocolate too. This area reminds me a bit of Fifth Avenue around Bay Ridge. It's like this, like mostly Middle Eastern. Over here they got Mocafe coffee shop, you know. It's a really good coffee joint. They got like really good pastries. Then next door they got Outcuts, you know, Mediterranean grill, and all over here it goes. A lot of people call this area also Little Egypt, but it's like a mixture of all types of Middle Eastern out here. So you can see it keeps going. Like I say, I'm only showing you like literally 2 blocks Steinway Street. Like Steinway, it goes all the way towards the other side. But it's busy like this. There's also like another coffee joint there called Haraz. So it's Middle Eastern, not sure from where, but you have an idea what I'm talking about. Then they got like halal joints across the street. Little bit of everything, every single type of business. There's also like a dessert shop in the other side, which I've been a few times and I ended up buying baklava. And it got also like mini kanafa. They're pretty good. So I've had baklava all over the world, but I think the best baklava I've had is out here in Astoria, Queens. I think a block ahead you'll see the street. Yeah, I think it's somewhere around here, so I'll show you if I find it. It's another joint right here. But they literally got everything there, even hookah. Even a deli here to my left that's called Nile Deli. Nile is the Nile River in Egypt. Goes all the way from Cairo, Alexandria, and it's right here. So yeah, you know, a really interesting, cool neighborhood out here. Here's a spot that I'm talking about, homemade baklava. Some really good desserts that they sell over here. They also sell the famous Dubai chocolate, which is really good. I actually had the original Dubai chocolate in the airport of Dubai. Like it cost, I think, 20 bucks, but it was a big, thick chocolate, and it was actually really good. Here, this passes over a major highway. I think it's Grand Central. Let me Google it. So yeah, it is Grand Central, but now I'm gonna make it towards 23rd Avenue and walk all the way towards Astoria Park to see the vibes over there. I know it's gonna be super nice and super chill over there. Here in Steinway, a little bit behind by the Middle Eastern area, they have a really good seafood joint that a lot of people go, but I'm allergic to seafood, unfortunately, but I heard a lot of good things about it. So if you're really into seafood, then you might want to check out the spot over there. Here we got like a bridge and a couple of street art in the bottom. You guys know me, you know I'm a huge fan of street art. So it's pretty nice, this one that they got over here. And here the neighborhood keeps going. We got this bridge that I think is kind of like a train bridge, but there's still business underneath it. There's a Greek joint right here, Mediterranean food. You know, I've never been in this side. That's the beauty about this. I keep discovering something new every time that I come out here. You see how big it is. So it's like they got like a little open space out here. City glass, there's a tavern across the street. I tell you, Astoria is literally like a city within a city. A city of its own kind. I think this actually could be like the Greek side of Astoria. I say that because of the restaurants that they got and some of the street arts and even the people, you know. So like here to my left, I'll show you. See, look at this. It's a little bit of this street art, Athens, Greece. And of course, like I say, throughout this street, they have a lot of Greek restaurants and spots. And if you walk here, it's mostly like a residential area. So it's crazy. Even if I wanted to film only a little bit of Astoria, I still end up filming a lot because there's so much to see here, and it's a really big neighborhood. I'm just gonna walk all the way towards Astoria Park. Luckily, like I said, the weather's pretty nice, so my walk is pretty smooth and pleasant. Like if it would be hotter, I'll probably be struggling out here. Here I'm passing again 31st Street where the subway line passes by. So you got it, 31st Street. And like I said, I think it's my first time walking around this dimension. So I'm gonna keep walking around the street. There's probably a lot of business happening over there. We are 23rd Street, 23rd Avenue. Now we gotta walk straight and I see a lot of business and taverns out here. So if you guys see, they got barber shops, they got Asian joint right here. Wow, like I say, it's actually my first time around this side. There's more across the street. It's like literally everywhere in Astoria is super, super walkable. Beauty salon, it just keeps going. It's really cool. You see all the business, they even have the outdoor sitting area over here where you can sit down by the sidewalk and have food. And the best of all, has trees. But like I say, they eliminated the outdoor dining around New York City. Forgot when, I forgot what was the reason, but really bad that they eliminated that because that was like a really cool vibe, you know, and it just makes you interact, you know, city style. Made a little detour here to show you how beautiful the street is. But all the streets are getting nice over here, so it's mostly a lot of trees. I think there's a church over there, probably a Greek church. There's a guy, you know, the flag over here. And there's a Greek tavern across the street. So like I said, I think this section over here is mostly Greek. But then when you go by Steinway between 30th Avenue and 28th Street, it's Middle Eastern, so it's really cool to see these nationalities like in one neighborhood, you know. But that's the beauty about New York City. And here you see how beautiful townhouses are, the houses, apartment, surrounded by, you know, it's all like pine trees, tall trees, and even across the street. And like I said, this will take me straight towards Astoria Park that has some really nice views of the Upper East Side and the bridge. Here I am by Astoria Park. They have a huge fence over here, so I'm not sure if they're renovating it. But I'm gonna figure my way where it's open. I can make it to the park and show you the bars over there. You know, a nice simple park, it has a track field. You can see the Robert Kennedy Bridge, and the other side you see the Hellgate Bridge, but it goes by Randall Island. But yeah, it's a pretty nice, unique park out here. This is what the neighborhood looks like by the park, super residential with trees. They also got like a public pool right in Astoria. So this is the public pool. Wow, it's actually a massive pool. A lot of people out here today, even though it's not hot, but that's good vibes. For me personally, I prefer to go in private pools, not public pool, you know. I feel like private pools to get like better maintenance, you know, it's cleaner and safer. I don't know, maybe over here is good, but I've been hearing some strange stories about public pools throughout New York City. And here I am deep in Astoria Park, making it to the waterfront where East River is. You can see the Robert Kennedy Bridge and part of the skyline of the Upper East Side and Midtown Manhattan all the way towards the end. You get this, and you can capture some really good sunsets out here. So this over here is a Hellgate Bridge. The Amtrak train passes by over there. And if you walk a little bit more over here, you get the Robert Kennedy Bridge with a skyline of Manhattan. So a pretty lovely, peaceful area to walk around in Astoria. Like I say, Astoria keeps going the other way too, so it's a really big neighborhood. Then over here you can jog, you can ride your bike, you know. It's like a little semi-beach over here by the riverfront. Look at this over here, see? And then you got the water, and that's Randall's Island right there. Never been there, but I heard they could do some really good music festivals Yeah, I like how the sun lights up. And then of course the bridge is right here. The track running fields over that way, and a lot of people, they relapse over there underneath the bridge. But this over here is like an epic view that you get. Now I'm passing underneath the bridge, which is right here. Main highway, but look how the people just chill right here in this grass, you know. It's pretty epic. This is just like an ASMR vibe. You can chill here, enjoy like a nice breeze, you know. Just simple things like this, you know, makes life pretty good. And on the other side, you have a skating area where people skate. A lot of guys doing skates, doing tricks. And then over here, you got the famous track field. When I was a kid, I used to love going to the track field and running around doing exercise. You know, it was actually a really dope vibe. I think this is gonna be a perfect spot for me to just chill out here. Stay here for a little bit, enjoy the little nice breeze, natural breeze that we got over here in Astoria Park. So I think over here I'm gonna start wrapping up my video. So that was the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more. Be safe out there. Everybody, God bless y'all, and peace.